Good morning, guys. I'm coming to you from Voluntown, Connecticut, about 20 miles north of where we're at, Stonington High School. I'm in Patchogue State Forest in the Sluice Carin Trail, which is part of sort of like the Green Falls area of Patchogue. It's a great spot. It's fantastic, actually. It's a beautiful park that I would love to take you guys on if we could get out here. My dog's acting kind of crazy right now. He's smelling everything. So he's sort of slowing me down for where I want to get with you guys today. But I wanted to show you guys this. It's a great example of preservation and conservation, actually. There's both going on here. So I'm going to show you examples of that. Try to make a little video. My plan, just to give you guys a heads up, is to get around to some of the places we would normally go to do field work and try to create some videos to give you an experience at some places that we would otherwise go to, but also to encourage you to get out and see these places yourself. Ultimately, my plan is to actually have you guys start to create some videos of your own for some of these many examples of conservation and preservation we have in our area. So to further that, I'm going to give you some examples of my own that I hope you will enjoy as we progress through this fall semester. So this place here, kind of came across it last winter, just kind of out exploring, looking for new places to go on hikes. I think of all the places in our area, it's one of the most unique hiking experiences, and once you get out here, you can see why it's been preserved. It's a truly almost like northern New Hampshire type of hiking experience. When you get out here, it's a lot of elevation change. The topography here is pretty evident. There's canyons, there's what are called slot canyons. There are relics of the past, like right here. This cairn, this is part of a milling system where they would basically create little slots to funnel water through to power mills using hydro power, the force of the water moving through constricted areas to power mills back in the day. We're talking hundreds of years ago. And this was an example of that. You can see as this drops down, creating these constricted areas, the water flow comes through here. The cool thing about it is losing my train of thought here. This valley, if you will, or slot canyon, continues all the way up to Green Falls, and it's been basically a dam up there for many years. So it's constantly being built, constantly being rebuilt, including as recently as after the 2010 floods. So the water's like at a trickle right now because we haven't had much rain. You can see going down, looking up, a couple little bridges here to cross back and forth. I'm going to kind of continue up along the left side of this bank. My dog is acting crazy. It's going to pull me into this canal here, this little slot canyon if I'm not careful. So to continue here, I've been up here where this water is absolutely like rocking down. If we're getting a lot of rain, it really can move through here. And right now there's barely anything. So it's sort of been more of a byproduct of the lack of rain over the last few months. So continue up. Come on, bud. We're going to look at this on using the LiDAR technology we've been messing around with, as well as Google Maps and some other things that we're going to look at with the area I'm in right now, so you guys can see it. As I was mentioning earlier, I do plan to have you guys do some videos like this where you'll research an area and sort of create your own little video, your own little report, if you will, on different parks and places. I mean, that's what we were starting to mess around with last week with the Find a Park activity. Kind of want to get an idea of what's close to you, but I don't want to limit your options either. But we'll keep working with that as we go. So this is part of a large area, the Patchogue Forest. If you've ever been up here, I mean, you can get lost. I mean, people do. It's a good chunk of sort of the Voluntown, North Stonington, Griswold, I think even Plainfield areas, are set aside as state forest. That's preservation. They're preserving these areas, sort of keeping them in the same state as they would have been, in the centuries past, for centuries past. And one of the reasons for that is, and a big part of what our class will get into, as time has gone on, there's been development and progress. Our country is continually developed and spread. And there's a lot of good for that. There's a lot of good that has come from that. But we started to recognize, about really in like the mid to late 1800s, we started to recognize that we might be overdoing it a bit. So started to pump the brakes a little bit. We had some people come along that we're going to get into in our class from a history standpoint that started to push back against that. And we start to see a desire to create green space, open spaces in cities, as well as start protecting natural resources and just the way land is. And we start to recognize the health benefits of that, the mental health benefits of that. We went from being an agrarian farming society, pretty much for our whole country's existence, to an industrial society in just a few decades. And along the way, we began to see that we got to change our ways if we want to maintain what man or what humans have always had. And that's not always going to be accepted. There are going to be a lot of people that push back against that because they want to develop something. They want to harness the resources, make a living off of it, which is understandable. So we start to see, though, that there has to be a balance. And that balance is finding that kind of marriage between using a resource and protecting it. And that's kind of what conservation and preservation are when we compare the two. Conserving a resource, as we see here with this massive reservoir, really, and preserving. What I was just walking through with you guys. So I'm now crossing a dam. This dam is man-made. It's been rebuilt, as I was telling you before. It's been used to conserve this water, to create this stockpile of water for recreation and for use. And it's also been used for power, for the Sluice Carin, which is essentially a colonial, post-colonial era example of how Europeans started to settle this area, you know, and it's over time we see, you know, maybe no longer a need to use the power of this as an energy source, but still a desire to maintain this area here as well as the rest of the patchwork forest, you know, using this dam, which again had structural failures due to flooding in 2010 and was rebuilt, which we'll talk about a little bit. I'll try to get a good shot of it for you guys. And I may even show you guys a video I made last winter, showing what this looks like in the wintertime. It's a very different experience. But you can see here, get this dam that holds back all that water, and this canyon, slot canyon here, that was selected by pretty smart people a long time ago for its ability to channel water through, to use a little bit of human environment interaction, building cairns to further funnel the water, and use mills to process materials for use. So it's kind of like a little story of our area's past that's been preserved, you know. What a shame it would be if this long ago was sold off and developed and turned into someone's backyard. You know, it'd be good for them, but not so good for the rest of the people. And that's what this is all about, finding that marriage, that combination of what's good for everybody, what's good for the individual, finding a way to bring the two together. So drop down into this canyon, and then we'll call the video quits. I'm probably gonna keep this muted when I talk to you guys anyways, because I don't know if I can listen to myself drone on the way I make you guys listen to me. Sorry. So this is crazy how dry this is. This bed right here, the riverbed. I mean, I'm pretty much standing in it right now. I am standing in it where the water's normally flowing, but right now, not much rain. But when it rains, when it pours, rolls down these hills, these canyon walls, down into this area down here, and it really can flow. It's pretty cool. I mean, there have been times where I've been out here and, you know, it really feels like you're in a different part of the country. But beautiful area, Patchogue State Forest, Green Falls. I would love to get you guys out here, but at the same time, I'm going to encourage you guys to get out to these places yourself. It's good for your mental and your physical well-being, and that's really a big part of what this is all about. So we'll continue. We'll talk about this, and see you in class.